Welcome to a very, very brief guide to For the Love of Horror. First up, parking is extremely limited. Don't count on being able to park near the venue. It's probably not going to happen unless you're there at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And even if you are, you're still not guaranteed. Do check on the pages coming up to the event. You might get in, but don't bank on it. You can park around the Bowlers Exhibition Centre. It's based on an industrial estate, so sometimes you can get in there around the various different parts of the industrial estate if they're not in use. But do be warned that some people are going around ticketing, handing out tickets if you park in the wrong place. So, you might squeak it in, you might be okay, but I have seen a lot of people getting parking tickets. Some people say they're fake, some people say they're real, but be careful, park away from things. The most important thing that you must not do is park in any of the areas around the Bowlers Exhibition Centre on the regular streets of housing and stuff like that, and listen to the people that are trying to tell you that you can park there for a fee, usually like £10 or £20. They wear day-glow vests and get kind of nasty about whether you should park there or not and how much you should pay. It's actually not true. You shouldn't pay for any parking apart from the ones officially in Bowlers Exhibition Centre or in a proper car park. These people are scammers, and annoyingly they do it for every event that comes near, so it's one of those problems. I haven't had it myself. I've been lucky I've got to the event and got in somewhere on the industrial estate and not got a ticket, but be careful. If you can, travel from elsewhere. There's the Trafford Centre, which you can travel from. You can get buses from all over the city to fairly nearby. It's usually like a 5-minute walk at most, can be a bit more, but do check that out first of all. Don't bank on being able to park at the venue exactly. You may have a little bit of a walk. Secondly, it's a very busy con. It's an amazing con, but it does get really busy in the venue itself. So if you have problems with crowds, do be prepared to go outside for a bit of a breather, because you may well need it. They're a lovely crowd. People are awesome, but it does get very busy and quite warm, so be prepared. Toilets, they're important, and there aren't too many of them in the venue, and they do get a little bit messy towards the end of the day, but they're okay. Just be prepared to wait a little bit if you're there near the end of the weekend. There is a bar in the venue, and it's pretty good, but there's not much food in the way of things in the actual venue itself. There are food vans outside, so use those, or if you have special dietary requirements, then maybe it's worth bringing some food along, or planning to head off some point in the day and go a little bit further afield to get some food. It's definitely useful to have quite a bit of cash on you. Don't rely on card machines totally. I don't think there are any in the venue at the moment. That may have changed, but do bring cash with you, because a lot of vendors only take cash, or they have a problem with their card machines, so bring some anyway, just to be sure. Stalls. There are so many stalls selling so many different things. Yes, they do sell Funko Pops. Yes, they do sell pin badges. Stalls to check out. Dean the Dead, if you like hot sauces and you want to talk about horror, go and see Dean. If you don't like hot sauces, he'll still make you try some, and you may or may not become a convert. There's Bleeding Marvellous. They sell a huge amount of horror merch, all kinds of different stuff that you can't get very easily in this country. And there's Mad About Horror, who sell all kinds of figures and prop stuff. They sell Trick or Treat Studio stuff. They're really cool. Honestly, there's so many cool stalls. It's kind of hard not to find something awesome to buy if you really want to buy something. You don't have to. People are just cool. You're looking around. It's nice if you can afford to buy something, but don't worry too much about that. Guest talks. Unlike a lot of cons, they aren't paid for. So when you buy your ticket, you're in. All the talks are held in the main hall, so all you kind of have to do is walk around. There is seating, and for some of the busier ones, you might have to get in a little bit early to get anywhere near the front. You can hear it in there if you're not sat down, but it can be a little bit muffled because there is so much noise going on from around the con. The MC is usually Ben, and he's amazing. He's a great interviewer and he gets on really well. He's not kind of wooden or static, and sometimes there are some crazy things happening too. Speaking of Ben, there's Ben and Neil, and they're kind of the face of the con, and they're really friendly, but they're mad busy, so if you do see them, say hi. You probably won't get much of a chat because they're normally running around somewhere, but they're totally friendly and they will say hello back. Photo shoots. If you've booked a photo shoot, make sure that you are prepared to deal with the queues. The queues can be a little bit confusing. Sometimes they kind of run into each other, so one guest will finish and one queue for the next person will be attached to it. So do check with other people in the queue who they are queuing for. Try to be there for your guest about 10 minutes before you are scheduled. Schedules do change. Even the ones online will change, and possibly on the day, even right up to the last minute. So do check. Most of the time, if you do miss somebody, they're pretty good. They might be able to grab them back or send you over to their table and sort you out, but try to be there early. But be aware that the queues can get a little mashed and crazy, especially for some of the more popular guests. Autographs. The important thing to remember is that when you buy an autograph, you are paying for one thing to be signed, not several. Now, generally, if you want another item signed, you will have to pay another autograph price. That may be bent a little bit by the guest, but generally, as a rule of thumb, assume that if you pay one autograph price, that is what you are getting. You are getting one autograph. Ideally, don't take 5 million things, even if you think you can afford it, because then you'll be holding up the line behind you. And sometimes at the table, you will be able to get a selfie with the guest for an additional fee. Now, don't count on being able to get a selfie with a guest, especially if they're one of the more popular ones, because some of them don't do selfies at the table for various reasons. They'll want you to do the paid shoots. So if you're desperate to have a photo with somebody, maybe just go for the official photo shoot and then you're guaranteed to get it. Don't assume that you will be able to get a selfie at the table. When you do meet a guest at their table, remember that they don't need you to be zany or crazy or come up with some original greeting. Just be yourself, be friendly, and try to remember that this is your opportunity to talk to them. Sometimes it might be brief, because if they've got a huge queue, there's a load of people behind you who are just as desperate to talk to them as you are. So if they've got a huge queue, maybe don't stay there too long. But if they aren't very busy, then usually most guests will talk to you for a while if you've got something interesting to say. Don't worry about bringing presents for guests either. Usually if they're from abroad, it's going to be hard for them to take them home. It's difficult to transport them, so don't worry about that. They're just glad to meet you and their fans and speak to you about what you're interested in, which is usually them. So if you're nice, they'll be nice. Cosplay. Yes, loads of people cosplay at the HorrorCon. They absolutely do. Of course they do. The thing to remember is that if you're cosplaying, you can be something pretty horrific, but don't bring any real weapons or anything like that that's likely to cause anyone any harm, because you will probably get it taken off of you instantly, or the police will be called. A rule to remember is that not everyone who's cosplaying wants you to take a photo of them at any point during the day. So if they're chilling out or relaxing, don't take pictures of people. They probably wouldn't want you to have a picture of them eating a sandwich with it dribbling down their chin, ruining their makeup. Wait for them to be up and about. Go and ask them if it's okay to take a photo, and you'll be fine. Because most people love having their photo taken, especially if they're cosplaying. It's a con, and it's kind of like an old school con where people are actually really friendly. Literally, you can be walking along and you can see somebody wearing a t-shirt from a horror film that you love, and you go, "Oh my god, that's a cool t-shirt." And they're like, "Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for remembering that this film is awesome, and it's cool that you like it too." And all the stall holders are normally really cool. The guests are cool. The organisers are cool. It is a really nice family feeling. So just go along and be friendly. If you're a little bit shy, that's cool too. But remember that everyone's there because they love horror. Because it's for the love of horror. Oh, and the other really, really important thing, above everything, is to learn the Timmy Capello dance. Now, I'm not going to do it here, but there's probably instructions online or YouTube videos. So get it right, and you'll be ready to see Timmy Capello on Saturday night and do the dance with him to I Still Believe. And it is really one of the best things in the entire con, seeing Tim Capello, who's about 70 now, doing a dance and a song, basically still all rippling muscled with his saxophone from Lost Boys at age 70. Most importantly, have an awesome time, because for the love of horror, it is amazing. And if you've never been, you're going to have an amazing time. Just be prepared to be blown away by costumes and guests and the fans in general, because it is a great time. Well, I'll see you there. Take care.